evening, Miss Robinson. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. Well, I want to welcome you to my office. So tell me, what brings you in today?
Well, I'm addicted to marijuana, and I've come here to seek counseling through my parents pushing me to get here. So, yes.
Parents pushing. So, do you not want to seek help for
I
yourself?
do want to seek help. I've been seeking help for the past couple months, and honestly, nothing has worked. So, I guess they're at their wits' end, and I just want to see where this takes me, I suppose.
Oh wow. So how does that make you feel?
Well, I feel really frustrated. I feel like I've constantly gone back and forth about this with my family, and they don't really see it the way that I see it. I see smoking weed as a way of escaping my daily problems, my daily stresses, and things of that matter. And they see it as some kind of like monster pushing me into this closet. But honestly, I feel like it's just making me break through it.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that you've tried seeking help before, but your parents are pushing you more to seek help here, and you're starting to feel frustrated at the fact that what you see as a coping mechanism, if you will, they see as something that's harmful to you.
Yes, pretty much. And it sucks.
So tell me, when did you begin smoking?
Well, I've been smoking for a while now. However, it didn't get as bad until last semester. You know, I just got into college. You know, OB is a nice place, but it also gives me a lot of freedom and a lot of places to do the things that I want to do, such as illegal substances, unfortunately.
Okay.
And I feel like I took advantage of that, along with the fact that I've been really stressed out. You know, the classwork, and you know, friendships, relationships, all that comes into play, and it's just been making me spiral out of control. And unfortunately, weed is my only way to cope with that. When I've tried to, you know, address my parents and tell them that I've been struggling with these things, they seem to believe that either I'm just faking it, or they just don't understand where I'm coming from. Since they were college students themselves, at a certain point, they don't see how I could turn to drugs. But when there's nobody listening, who else can you really turn to?
So,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is you're feeling overwhelmed and neglected at the fact that you're trying to seek help from your family, and they're being very critical of your coping mechanisms when they're not providing an alternative.
Yes, that's exactly what's going on. And I wish I could tell them, you know, how I feel, but, you know, black families in their households, you don't really get a say-so in how you choose to live your life, which I feel like is another factor into my stress. I feel like I have no say into things. I feel like with marijuana, at least I can say that I want to smoke. I can decide that that's something I can choose for myself, you know? Like, I chose to go to college, but my major, I didn't really choose my major. Now I feel like that was pushed on me. Everything is pushed on me. And even though I'm reaching 20 in a couple months, it still feel like I'm a puppet in my parents' sick game for some reason. It seems like they want me to live the life that they never did, and I just can't do that for them. So that's where the weed comes into play.
So what I'm hearing here is that you feel controlled, and your parents have basically taken away your autonomy throughout childhood. So now that you're older, you want to have a say-so in something.
Yes, ma'am.
And you think that weed, that is the one thing that you do have a choice in. But now they're trying to control that as well.
Yes, it's really frustrating. I understand that they want to help, but this is not the way to help me. Maybe if they would provide me with a different kind of, you know, at least a support system to lean on while I'm going through these tough times, then maybe it wouldn't have gotten this bad. Maybe I would have just did it moderately, or, you know, just a little mild here and there in social settings. But it's gotten to a point where I do it every day. I was gonna seek out help on my own, but I didn't really see it as like a big problem at first.
So, what do you feel would help you?
Well, I feel like I want to take this one day at a time. I want to see the problem instead of them seeing it. I want to see it myself. I want to be able to reflect and be like, wow, I went to get help because I know I needed help. Versus them pushing me into getting help. And I feel like I'm being pressured into doing something that I don't want to do. It makes me feel resentful. Like, kind of like being a kid and throwing a tantrum. That's what I feel like most of the time when they bring it up at family functions. That's pretty embarrassing too. Really embarrassing. We're not gonna get into that. But yeah, like I just feel as though I'm willing to work with you. Only because I feel like you understand where I'm coming from. Every other person, specialist, doctor, therapist, whatever you want to call them, when I met with them, their whole thing was, well, you have a problem, and here are these meds to fix it. Medication doesn't fix everything. That's just another addiction waiting to happen. So I would just like to have somebody to talk to vent to. I feel like I don't have that. At least I have a choice in deciding to come here. My family pushed me to come to this exact, facility, but they didn't tell me who to choose. So yeah, I feel like I'm choosing you.
Well, I feel very honored that you've chosen me. And I appreciate that. I acknowledge that you could have chosen anyone else, but you chose me. And I'm hearing that choices are very important to you. The fact that, growing up you've been feeling I just get the feeling that you've been feeling resentful for a long time.
Yes, that's true. Very resentful. To the point where I feel like I'm rebellious. I suppose. Whenever something doesn't go my parents' way, it's always I'm the bad kid, even though I've been busting my ass for 19 years. It's just a lot. It's just a lot to deal with on a day-to-day basis.
So I'm hearing that you feel very unappreciated and overwhelmed on top of you trying to be the best that you can be for yourself, with you being in college and you working and everything that you have told me, that they're not understanding that you're trying.
Yep, pretty much.
And I'm getting the feeling of, how dare they judge how you choose to deal with your emotions and deal with your stress and deal with your daily life when they've been trying to control it for so long.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Sorry for the little tears. I didn't realize I was that easy to read since they act like I'm so difficult to read. So yeah, that's pretty much.
They think you're difficult to read.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I don't communicate well with them. I'd rather hold myself up in the room, but like if you give me a reason to hold myself up in the room, then I'm more inclined to stay in my safe area, if that makes sense. You have a bubble and you want to stay in your bubble because you feel like that's what's safe for you. And I just feel as though that's what's safe for me, and they don't understand that because they would rather me be out and to put myself through so much torture. I just don't see as, I don't know what they want me to be.
So you describe being around your family as torturous.
Yes, very much so.
Tell me about that.
Well, started when I was younger, to be honest. I guess we're really going way back in the subconscious. But it started when I was younger. My parents my father, he was there, but he wasn't always there. But my mother was. She was always there. But, I guess her dealing with my other siblings, it seemed like when I was doing good in school, that became like a thing that always needed to happen. If I mess up just a little bit, everybody's on me. Nobody cares to figure out why that is happening or why I'm slipping. It's more like, okay, get it together. Get it together. Get it together. I'm like, okay, wow. Like, can I slip just a little bit, And that's why I feel like I've been spiraling so much, because when I was slipping, You wanted to correct me so bad. That was the first thing you say, correct yourself. But I can't really do that without your support, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And like at this point, I feel like I have nothing to lean on. Like, who's there? There's nobody there for me to lean on, because everybody's on the opposite side, because they want me to be somebody that I'm just not anymore. Like, I want to live my life. I want to be myself, and I can't, because every time I move just a little to the left, people try to push me back to the right, and that's just not me.
So I'm hearing that you're feeling oppressed.
Yes.
Possibly even, if I can go so far as to say, you feel like a hostage.
Yes.
In your own life.
Yep. That's why I feel like it's so hard for me to like explore my options in college. It feels like I have no choice. It's either, okay, you get a job that has money, or you don't come home. I'm like, okay, well, I don't really have all the options there. But that's really how it is. Like, and it's crazy because I just don't understand how can somebody that birthed me do that to me relentlessly. It doesn't even care. You just want me to be somebody that I'm not this whole time, and you have no remorse for your actions whatsoever. But the moment I snap is when I'm the bad person. I'm the guilty person because I want to go out and live life for myself. It's unbearable. It really is. And I do feel like a hostage. I feel like they just put me in a padded room and blinded me, put me in a straitjacket and just left me there. And they're never coming back. They're never coming back in there. And they've taken this fake persona of me and they've just walked it out in the streets and pushed this to do whatever. But the real me is just locked up somewhere. And she can't get out. She doesn't have a key. She can't even see. It's just, I guess it's my life.
So I'm hearing that you feel abandoned and, if nothing else, just isolated and misunderstood from your own family. And trust me, I understand that hurts. But you are every bit valid and entitled to your feelings. And the fact that they did that to you and made you feel that way is